Swirling in the haze of myths, told from generation to generation in Mycenaean palaces, at Panhellenic feasts and sacred festivals, the forms of the gods and heroes were never really more than phantoms in the mind and imagination of the ancients. Anyone could shape these images as they pleased, and every artist felt free to render the myth in his own way, until, in the 7th and 6th centuries BC, the appearance and attributes of these forms began to crystallize. At this time, there emerged a major figure in the iconography and depiction of myths, the Athenian vase painter Kletias. Born in the time of Solon, he is best known for decorating the large crater made by the potter Ergotimos around 570 BCE. The vessel, which was destined to become the king of classical vases and the Bible of Greek mythology. It was found in Etruria in 1844 by Alessandro François in 639 scattered fragments. After being carefully restored, it was displayed in the Archaeological Museum of Florence. The vase is full of information, stories, and detail. A total of 270 figures overall and 131 inscriptions. It's a feat of harmony and aesthetic delight, a classical graphic novel. This masterpiece of ancient Greek art never traveled. The Museum of Florence refused to loan this precious and fragile piece despite pleadings from the greatest museums. The one and only exception was made for the Museum of Cycladic Art, so that the François vase could once again see the light of Athens, where it was born, and last summer it formed the centerpiece of the exhibition Divine Dialogues. Parading across the horizontal friezes encircling the vase are 9 well-known scenes from mythology: mythical sphinxes, the Calydonian boar hunt showing Atalanta and Meleager fighting against the monster, the return of Hephaestus to Olympus, accompanied by Silene and Dionysus, the battle of the centaurs, half men, half horses, against the Thessalians, and the dance of the Athenians after the Minotaur was slain by Theseus. Around the middle of the vase is depicted the wedding of Peleus, king of Thessaly, with Thetis, daughter of the Ocean, a seminal event in Greek mythology. All the Olympian gods were invited as guests and witnesses, and are seen here in a heroic tableau stretching 1 meter and 80 centimeters all the way around the vase. Even the handles tell a tale. The death of Achilles is shown on the outside of the handles, while demonic gorgons adorn the inner surfaces. But what might this vase possibly have in common with a contemporary conceptual artist working 2,600 years later? Is there something more than Twombly's travels in Greece and its islands and the countries of the Eastern Mediterranean? Browsing his library, one might get a more sensitive glimpse into ancient Greek culture which pervades his work. There is a dialogue between the masterpieces of classical art and Twombly, between the ancient Pan holding his pipes and Twombly's Pan with pipes, between Aphrodite emerging from the waves and similar works of his, between the Ithyphalic Dionysus and Twombly's own pieces. This dialogue also exists between Orpheus and Eurydice from the relief at the Museum of Naples and Twombly's own triptych, as it does between a winged Nike hovering illusionistically above her base and Twombly's own sculptures and other works. But other than the subject matter, what else might the François vase have in common with this contemporary cryptographer and conceptual artist? And what role does it play in the unique dialogue which developed for the very first time at the Museum of Cycladic Art? This dialogue reveals a powerful connection and correspondence between them. They share the basic tools of art: line, color, and drawing. The hundreds of figures created by Klitias are important not for their attributes, but for their names. Even if the figure had faded or was lost, it is the name that enables us to recollect that god or person from memory. This name, which distinguishes a god or goddess from hundreds of other beings, is used as well by Twombly in his work, in line and in color. Erotic red, flaming hot for Aphrodite, cool blue for Apollo, god of music, logic and light, whose deadly beauty burns. The name defines the person, its attitude and its character. After all, in Greek, to inscribe a name on a vase is called charasso. From this, we get the word charaktir, character. In other words, that which makes us, inscribes us, and makes us who we are. Furthermore, the word to write in modern Greek is grapho, and from these derive all the English words like graphics, photography, and graffiti. But in antiquity, grapho also means to draw or to paint. On the surface of this vase, Klitias painted the world he knew in his own code of figurative art. And in every age, this is what we strive to do: represent life using our own tools and symbols, as did Twombly in his own code, in his own way, entering into a dialogue with his predecessor in this sacred task. Because the dialogue never ends, nor does life or art.